see seduction, thinking that you have control over me. But when you discover I take no order, only see victims to bottle and beat. No one could stop me, try to unboard me. Open and see, you could be free. Every battle ends in defeat.
Uh-oh.
Am I back? Oh, all right.
Sorry, guys. We'll do. We'll do.
Oh, apparently they don't hear you, Joel. Apparently, that's what they're saying. As you're just talking about how the audio is going to be different for this, how we usually do it. Josh, he doesn't have a camera.
Sorry, guys.
I will continue to blame you.
The camera ruins the audio somehow. Doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
If I can't see it, I don't hear it. Okay, sounds interesting.
Okay. It'll be probably. Is it? It might be a little delayed.
Okay, I know you guys can hear me now. Right? We're good? We're good?
I can hear you. I don't know how big the delay is, but I can hear you.
It seems fine.
All right, yeah. Seems
Let
good.
me get confirmation. Okay, good. Fastfire can hear me. Okay, cool. All right. Sorry about that. So, yeah, so again, audio is kind of weird. Typically, I use Streamlabs for like all the audio, but Josh was having some issues with that. So he's gonna talk through Discord. We're just gonna go through Discord. It's gonna be kind of weird. Bear with me. Okay, cool. Anyway, so topic tonight. Tiny Toys Tuesdays, episode 29. We're going to go through the Old Town Throwdown Team GT recap. It was a pretty cool event. Tom and the team put on a great event, and we'll go through it.
It was a very fun event.
It was awesome.
Yeah. All Josh's fault. It was. Sorry, Josh. Okay. Let's I get this just to get some items out of the way. We do have our first hosted House of Hobbies RTT at Tabletop Wargaming on the 18th. So definitely sign up for that if you haven't already. We've hosted the Smite GT, but this will be our first like 1 day event. So hopefully we can. Joel, you can go down a bit. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because we were planning to do that monthly, right? Or at least try to.
Monthly. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it monthly, but
We'll try to do it more often. How about that?
yes, yeah. As long as we can get the approval from Rob at Tabletop, we should be good. But hopefully, we will make a good event, our very first one out. So, I would ask what everyone's up to, but I kind of know because we spent the entire weekend together. So, hurrah!
I slept horribly this entire weekend, man.
Hey, it could have been a hotel. I don't know if that would have been better. Did you guys like the Airbnb versus the hotel? Versus a hotel?
I like the Airbnb. I just sleep horrible. Other than that, I didn't do any painting or anything like that.
It wasn't too bad. I got the couch, but no complaints here, man.
I would have traded you. You didn't need to.
No, that couch looked comfy.
All right.
No, I'm not complaining whatsoever. I promise, buddy.
Okay. All right. Let's go into the next thing. Let's do art of the week. Cameron up. Oh boy. I don't know if I can put Cameron up anymore. And you said I could go down? Okay. Cameron, I don't know if there's a way to turn you up on your side, but
We'll just have a way.
we'll just bear with it. Okay, art of the week. Brad Glover. This dude likes pain, I guess. I don't understand. This guy has got some insane artistic ability to like look at the detail on some of this stuff. It's like what? Pretty nuts. But yeah, definitely go check him out. He's got a ton of this type of stuff on his Instagram. Like just weird guys huffing that thinner. I mean, I don't know, man. That's a lot of work.
It's reminding me of the old Transformers shows.
Like all of the little hieroglyphics and stuff. Like I guess they're not hieroglyphics, but just all the detail work. Like how long does it take to do one of these, right? Like it seems like that's just obnoxious. Anyway, that's what we got for art of the week.
More than a day, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's just get right into the GT summary. Okay. So this was our first team event, at least from a House of Hobbies perspective, and I don't think any of us have been to a team event ever, right? Like Camaron, you haven't. I think you're the only other one that would have been to one.
I did the team event for LVO 2 years ago, but it wasn't nearly as big, and it was only 3 people.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So I didn't know that. Okay. This Tom mentioned that Tom is the TO by the way. He mentioned that this was the largest North American team event. I know AOS Worlds has a huge team event, but this was the largest one in North America. There were 14 teams and at 70 people. There's 5 people per team. Pretty large event. You think 14 teams doesn't sound big until you get there and it's like, oh, there's a lot of people here. So that was fun.
2 rooms full of people, not of only tables and people.
Yep. Also, I will say this was a lot different than like LVO. LVO was super competitive. There was a ton of people. It was loud. It was a huge room. This was so much more laid back, I would say. It was still competitive because there was a lot of competitive people there. A lot of the top players in the world were there. A lot of good teams were there. So it was still competitive, but it was very laid back, very chill, lots of drinking, just a very fun, laid back event. And all the it was a themed event, so a bunch of call out videos happened, and it was just it was a very laid back but very competitive tournament. That's the best I can describe it.
And now that we've actually gone to the tournament once, now we're going to have to do our own videos for next year.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to have to spend a good amount of time getting our own theme.
Yeah, I'm not in charge. We kind of did,
that.
a last minute theme, and you'll see us in some pictures. But we just did a wizard theme because it was wizard season. So, but we weren't even competitive from a theme perspective compared to some of those people.
What was your favorite theme?
I mean, I'm a drink guy, so I got to give it to the drink team. The screwdriver
Josh,
guy was
what about you?
I'm kind of with Joel, man. The cocktail team is cool.
Cocktail team was pretty cool.
See, I'm all about the Ken team. All 5 Kens.
That was good. That was
the
good.
Ken team was good.
Crackhead Ken, Pull Ken. Oh, man.
Yeah, it was
Loved
pretty
it
good.
every time.
It was pretty good. Again, everyone knocked it out of the park with the themes, man. It was real fun. The other thing that was, again, this was a team event, so it was our first time doing the little fun pairing mini game. Cameron, do you want to just do a quick, 1-2 minute?
Both teams have a captain. You take one of your teams out of your team, one of the lists out of your team, and they are a protector. Then your opponent takes 2 lists out of their team, and they put down as like, hey, we want one of these 2 people to fight that guy. Then you choose one of those 2 people to fight, and then you just repeat the process until everybody has a partner. So you have a a pseudo you get to choose, but it's not really it's more of a technical choice than anything of like, all right, who do you want to have a small choice of who gets to play, and it's kind of a mind game of who do you want to set out there to be a who do you want to set out to give your opponent the most choice of who they want to fight?
Yeah. So you're not always going to get the person you want. And that kind of goes with my next point. Sometimes you just pull the short straw for the team. If there's a matchup that's just bad for the rest of the team, sometimes, you just have to, one person will just kind of get the short end of the stick, and you just have to kind of push to get and scrap as many points as possible. But it's better for the team. And that's what makes team events much, much different than, just going to like LVO or something where, you're solo, you're doing the best, you're trying to do the best you can
OBR.
against everything.
There was a lot of OBR in this tournament.
Yeah, lots of OBR. Yeah.
I think the lists I saw the most were OBR and Idenith Deepkin.
Yeah, surprisingly, not so much Soul Blight, which was surprising. And there might have been. We just didn't play into any. Okay, yeah. So, and then last but not least, Tom, as you can see on the, he's the frog. He dressed up as the frog at the end. Tom was an awesome TO. Definitely going to go back out, and we'll do the team events for sure. If not any other Old Town Throwdown events, because they definitely know how to run an event, and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Any other last things you guys want to mention before we get into the lists?
The place where it was at was very good. I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
It was very spacious.
Yep.
And it was kind of tucked away on a second floor of a building, but it wasn't that hard to get to. It had space for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the venue. A lot of space for how many people we had accommodating in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never really felt like it was too claustrophobic. We had plenty of room on the sides of the tables and stuff. It was very nice. All right.
There was always at least 40 plus people in that room, and it never really felt that bad.
Yeah, that's very true.
Not bad at all.
All right, let's get into the third place team. We'll go through all the teams, the third, second, and first place teams, and then we'll go through our rounds. So in third place was the good old Cowboys. They were a riot, to say the least. So it was Big Ben and the Corsair kids. So a bunch of Corsair people from that team. Alexander
They had
Geiger.
Soulblight Gravelords.
What's up?
They had Soulblight Gravelords.
They did, yeah. They had they played OBR, Blades of Corn, Soulblight Gravelords, Flesh Eater Courts, and Slaves of Darkness. All very, very high meta factions for sure.
We did not have the luxury of facing them.
No, we did not play them. I think if we would have had a sixth round, we probably would have faced them. But we did not face anyone from this team, so that's about all we can say for them. Because again, we didn't play any of them, but they definitely had some strong lists for sure.
I believe they won the best costume though.
I believe they did. And they deserved it. They were out of control. They were wild. They definitely. I think they spend a lot of time going through their theme stuff, so good on them. All right, let's go into second place. We did play these guys. This was Ligbar, Moho, Doho, Casa House. So this was Aaron and team, Matt and Aaron's team. We did play these guys. Some pretty wild lists. We'll get into the matchups when we go through the rounds, but all of these guys were extremely good players. And again, some wild lists. That Stormcast list that you played, Camaron, was pretty wild.
Yeah, so it was very fun to go against, and it was very difficult to go against, to say the least.
Yeah, very tough matchup, man.
Yeah, Aaron, and then obviously Aaron with IDK. He's your best IDK player, right? So some hard matchups there.
And they were the Ken team, which is one. It was my favorite thematic team.
Yeah, good old Ken team. All right, then we get into the first place team, Left Coast Corsairs. I mean, if there's ever a team that you want that's just completely stacked from just amazing players, this is what you want. Colt, Gavin, Jeremy, Matthew, and Thomas. Like, these guys are no joke. I mean, Gavin and Thomas are some of the best players in the world. And we definitely played these guys third round, and you can imagine how that went.
It went pretty well, actually.
It did. We scrapped as much as we could for points. They eventually they took that round for sure, but we scrapped as much as we could for points. And then that was that your first time playing OBR, right, Josh? He might have a little bit of a delay. Did we lose Josh? Oh no, we got
Into Thomas Guan. Yeah, that was my first OBR matchup of the day.
Yeah. Into Thomas Kwan's OBR, so that's unfortunate.
All I remember about the end of the tournament is that Josh said that he never wanted to fight OBR again.
On the way up, talking to Justin, I didn't want OBR. Looking back, I definitely don't want any more OBR.
Yeah. They're tough, man. They're a tough army to play into right now. They're real good. They got a lot of utility everywhere. So, all right, let's get into our lists. This was our wizard theme. So we got 6th overall, which is pretty good out of 14. Camaron, or as we like to call him, Jamarin, because he was the only person without a J.
Oh gosh.
He ran Big Wah. Jed ran a Alpha Strike Slanesh list, and then I ran. I think there may be one other dock player that was there. I run a Caliban dock list. In hindsight, probably not the best list to take, but we thought it would match up into some good matchups. But I think we've learned a lot from that.
Yeah, we learned not to bring Daughters of Cain next
Yeah,
time.
they're just in a rough spot, man. I did the best I could. And then Josh played an Alpha Strike Vanguard Slaves of Darkness list, which was pretty good. And Justin rounded out the team with Ogre Monster Trucks. And that was...
And I love Ogre Monster Trucks, but they've lost a lot of steam from what I've seen.
I think he was the only Monster Truck list there?
I know that there was another Ogre list.
At least out of the
Meat Fists.
the top, five?
I think you're right, yeah.
5 tables, I think. I didn't see any other ogres. So that was our list. We came 6th overall, which is pretty good. We'll go into round 1. We'll just do these quick. We don't have to spend a ton of time on them. But round 1 was Frigid Zephyr. So this was clearly my worst matchup because I'm oops all shooting. And so I told Cameron to give me the short end of the stick on this. Zach brought Hobby Club. Zach brought Monster Trucks. Okay. So there was another Monster Truck list. Thanks, Tom. So we faced War Room Gladiators. Cameron went up against a FEC list.
I played against Flesh Eater Courts with a lot of zombies, a lot of Terrorgeists. I think there was 4 or 5 monsters in the list. Do you want to just go over real quick anything notable in that matchup? It didn't do well against a lot of just straight damage that could Alpha Strike you with Big Wall. Gotcha. And so things were just melting on the field a lot faster than she expected. That's fair. Jed ended up going against Big Wah, and he ended up winning. I went up against Gabriel Pacheco. He was an IDK player. He was oops all sharks. I had a feeling this was going to be a rough matchup for me, but it ended up with Frigid Zephyr. It ended up working out in my favor. And it wasn't so much the shooting that made a big deal out of this. It was the flying. One of his strategies was kind of he used the 2 boat
the two boat artifact or whatever it was, and he would try to clutter up the board as much as possible to make sure a lot of things couldn't get in, and that was a good and bad thing in hindsight because again he wasn't able to fly. The squall didn't go away until round 5, so there was just no flying, and he couldn't get a whole lot of places because the board was so cluttered. So I ended up taking a win out of that. I was not expecting that. Gabriel's a great player. It's just the Frigid Zephyr is just a rough map for both of us on that. So Justin ended up.
You were all shooting, and he's all flying, and so just everything just canceled each other out.
Yeah, and even Shadow Queen was unable to get to places just because of the flying. It was rough. It was rough. And then Justin played Nurgle, and he ended up winning that match. And then Josh, you played KO, which you haven't played a lot of, especially the new book. Do you want to go over your matchup real quick?
You want to go over your matchup, Josh?
Yeah, it was actually only my second game ever against KO. My first matchup was actually against Joel in a duos tournament we had local.
Yeah.
But it was deceptively melee. Everything hops out of the boats, gets first strike. It was pretty intense, man.
Yeah. So he ended up losing that matchup, but overall, that's that round we win.
It was a good matchup.
Yeah, yeah. We were 4-1 with a 71 to 29 point differential, which was pretty good. We felt really good after round 1, going into round 2. This was Power Flex. We played the Golden Company. Camaron went up against a Blades of Corn player. Do you want to go over that? This was brutal. This was a brutal matchup for you.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I lost you.
I was unable to kill the blood war. He had, I think, blood warriors, just the basic corn warriors, and it was just a pack of 20 of them. I was just unable to kill those things, and everything that I did kill just mortal wounded me back because I killed them. However, I was able to kill his general the first turn, and because of that, everything, like, he was able to just kill everything with a Scarbrand, but because I just wounded him so much in the first turn, things began to peter out very quickly.
Yeah.
Because surprisingly, I was able to just pin him into his own deployment.
Yeah.
And
that
because
kind
of
of
that, I was able to outpoint.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into the same concept that Jed had when he went up to Sons of Bahamut with Tony. Unfortunately, Tony just got really he's stuck in one corner, and that's exactly what Jed wants to fight against, is to go in one corner and just kind of pin you there, and that's exactly what happened. Jed just got all of his models into the Giants. You can see in the picture, like, just all into the Giants, and they kind of couldn't get out of there, and Jed just kind of scored from there. I went up against Cities of Sigmar, and poor Kurt, man, he was such a good sport. He was rolling like I typically would. He was rolling really bad. He had 2 primal miscasts turn 1.
I remember that.
And he ended up
so bad.
Yeah, and he ended up killing 2 wizards just right out of the gate. And at that point, he was kind of on the back foot the entire time. He just rolled really poorly, and it's a dice game at the end of the day. But he was a good opponent at the end of the day, and I kind of got lucky a little bit. I feel like that matchup was probably not great for me to win. I don't know where Cameron's going. He's on and off here.
Oh, I lost you, Joel.
You're back. You're here.
Okay, now you're back.
I don't know why that happens with you.
I don't know.
Anyway, so that's what happened with me and Kurt. Justin went up against a Seraphon matchup, and this is kind of the first pairing we screwed up on, because we thought the Seraphon player was going to be a
I thought
magic
they were going to
heavy.
be Starborn.
Yeah.
And I just completely spaced it, and he was the Coalesced, and just Ogres into Coalesce just did not work well.
Yeah, Scaly Skin does not work well with monster trucks. It was rough for him. So that was a bad call for us. And then Josh went up against Iron Jaws. I'm actually, I'll be honest. I didn't know if you were going to take this, Josh, but you ended up doing really well, and you ended up winning this. You want to talk about this one? I know Josh is on a little bit of a delay, so.
Yeah, man. He had a lot of foot troops. So it was the new. What are the new models called, Cameron?
The Wreckers or Ragers, one of those.
Yeah, they have Brute Ragers and Brute Rekkas.
Yeah, he had Rekkas and Ragers, and basically like he had the output to take down Vanguard units in one single swipe, but my speed just kind of was able to outmaneuver him, and I think I got up on points pretty early on. I think he struggled the first 2 rounds of battle tactics, so that kind of early game advantage just kind of gave it to me.
Okay. It's a pretty solid matchup between you two. So it's you're both pretty alpha strikey, kind of trying to do the same type of strategy. So, all right. So then Josh won that, and so far at the end of round 2 we were 8-2, 67-33 point not point deficit, but 67-33 point differential. And I think we all knew at this point. Yeah. I think at this point we knew we were gonna go to one of the top tables and face even more hard competition. I don't think we realized we were gonna go into the left coast Corsairs. So we knew at the end of round 2 it was going to be tough. This is where it was going to get really, really tough. And of course we played the top team. So Camaron ended up facing off against Colt and the Sons of Behemoth. This was a scrappy little match, but Camaron, you want to go over this?
It was very funny. Pretty much it was a whole bunch of, oh, we didn't expect that, or hey, let's do all or nothing. It was he had his gate breakers, and it went to a point where it's like, all right, he has to do the 4-up 4d6 mortals, or else nothing would have happened. And so he tried to do that 2 turns in a row and failed both times, and then from there it was just downhill. He failed those attacks that he needed, and then just wasn't able to do anything from there.
Yeah. Okay. I know it was a pretty scrappy match between you two, so that was cool.
It was a fun match for sure.
Yeah. Jed went into Matt's IDK, who also was running just all Sharks. Hindsight, I think I should have played in this match, but whatever. It is what it is. Matt played very well in this match, and he knew exactly what Jed was going to do, so he was just aligned at the back corner, and just Jed could never get to him, and when he did, he couldn't do enough damage. Yeah, Cole, it was a fun that was a fun matchup. But yeah, Matt played his butt off there, and Jed just couldn't take down the Sharks. I will say Jed did scrap till the very end. He had a great point differential even for losing that matchup, but Matt just outplayed him. I faced against Jeremy, and Jeremy baited me into some things, and I took the bait. I lost Cameron again. I don't know what it is. I don't know if
this list is very scrappy.
Hold on.
Oh, I think it happened again.
You're back. You're back. So Jeremy kind of baited me into some things. He also had he put the terrain in a good spot, and I screwed myself so much with some wildwoods that happened. Jeremy was such a good opponent, and he always is. That dude's so smart, and he plays that army so well. We talked a little bit after about what else I could have done there. There's some things that I definitely misplayed on, but I mean, when you're going up against Jeremy, man, that guy's just he's a really good player. So I ended up losing my first loss to him. Justin went up against Gavin, that poor soul, who was playing Blades of Corn. I really want to play Gavin at one of these times because I think that dude just seems like a really cool person to play. But yeah, so Justin lost that match, and then Josh unfortunately went into his first OBR against Thomas Guan, and Thomas Guan did Thomas Guan things. And you know, I will say, Josh lasted till round 3, so you know what? That was more than when I lasted. I think I got to top of 2, and I was done. So playing that same list.
Yeah, longer game than I expected, man.
Yeah. Josh, you want to just go really quickly into that? I mean, it was a typical Thomas Guan OBR, win, but.
Yeah. He I definitely made a big blunder right off the bat. He put everything kind of right on the front line, being a 1-drop, and I didn't think about him taking priority right off the bat. So I put all my warriors right up front in the combat. Everything else is a little more back and screened off, but he basically nuked my warriors turn 1. I think he was able to tag some of my Vanguard and kill all my Furies. So basically I was just scrapping for any victory points I could throughout the game. It was a quick 3-rounder. I think it took us like 45 minutes, so I got to hang out with Colt and Cameron a lot. It was a good time.
Yeah, you can see in the picture, you guys just set up right into combat. Man, him taking out those warriors just right out of the gate, man, that's so much damage. Gotta love OBR, man. They're in a crazy good spot right now. Yeah, so that was our first team loss. But overall, we were still 9-6, so still not bad. Our point differential was real bad that matchup, though. We were 68 to our 32, so it was our first team loss. But you know what? We kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into when we got matched up against them. But you know, we scrapped as much as we could for points. So yeah, so that was day 1. Day 2, round 4, we played Every Step is Forward. And this was Aaron and Matt's team.
It was Team Ken.
Yeah, Team Ken. And again, super skilled team. Very good. They know what they're doing. They've played their armies a lot. Like, this was going to be another hard round for us, for sure. So Cameron went up against Stormcast. You want to go over this matchup?
Yes, it was the meme Stormcast list that is very effective. Of 5 Night Vexillors,
Yep.
5 Annihilators, 2 Hounds to screen, and
And a
Imperaton to do
Imperaton,
7-inch charges with the Annihilators, and then 3 Long Strikes. And it's mostly just, can you survive the first round of Mortal Wounds? And I'll tell you what, a Maw Crusher and Gobsprat could not survive that first round. And it was just a bloody match between us ever since. He'd lose 2 units, I'd lose 2 units, he'd lose 2 units, I'd lose 2 units every single turn.
Yeah. Bloody match. Cool list, though. I'm really glad that I didn't go into this list, because that would have been just awful for me. The 5 D3 Mortals just in a 6-inch radius right off the bat. Oof. That is brutal. Jed went up against Blades of Corn. He ended up winning that match. I went up against Skaven. And, you know, day 1, I rolled pretty well. And then my typical bad rolling came into day 2. And I just could not kill anything in his army. Which is sad, right? Because you would think, you know, like I couldn't kill a 20-pack of Clan Rats, right? I think I shot 2 volleys, so I shot twice in one turn, and got 2 6s, out of 62 shots. So definitely below average. I just couldn't kill anything, and I was behind from the start just because I could not remove any models. I scrapped out the most I could out of that. It was close when we got to like round 3, but at the end of round 3, he was definitely pulling ahead. He was just removing more than I was removing. Cool list though. I definitely liked his list. I didn't think it was like a super crazy like feel bad list to play against. It was a pretty cool list. Yeah, it was good.
I know I wanted to fight it, so.
Yeah. Justin played Aaron, so Aaron.
It was Ogres versus IDK, and from what he was telling me, he failed so many charges and like the things that he actually needed to do first turn that it just snowballed him right from the first turn.
Yeah. That's a tough match, and again, Aaron is an incredibly good player. So, he did the best he could. Ended up losing that match, and then Josh, unfortunately, went into OBR yet again. After this match, I told Camaron, I was like, we are no longer putting Josh against OBR. He hates that army. He's never gonna want to play OBR ever again. But yeah, so Josh went into OBR. Yeah, Josh, you want to go over that match?
Yeah, and I might say now I'm definitely thinking about getting the OBR Battle Force box coming out this winter, so I just want to put that out there. But actually, this is my favorite matchup probably of the weekend, if not one of the two. Kyle was a great opponent. He was running like Catacross, Arkin, 30 Mortec, some Horse Boys, and the two with the big
Morgas?
hammer dudes, the
Yeah.
Morgas or whatever.
Yep.
But turn 1, I got really good charges off. I think I got 2 of my Vanguards in there. I got his Mortec down to like 8 dudes or something like that. But he doubled me in the turn 2, and before I knew it, his Mortec were back up to like 20 plus guys, and it kind of just snowballed back into his favor since then.
Yep. If you don't kill them, they will return.
Yeah.
That they will.
Yeah, Slaves of Orange is a rough matchup here. I think we've learned that now that we place him against 2 OBR players. I don't think we'll make that mistake again. But yeah, so with Josh lost that one. So, all in all, still with the House of Hobbies, we were still up 11-9, which was pretty good from a win-loss perspective, right? And our point differential wasn't too bad, 59-41. It wasn't great, but we all scrapped out all of our losses the best we could, just to try to get as many points as possible. Because in a team event, that's exactly what you want. You want that. You want to scrap as much as you can, even your bad matchups. All right, we'll go into round 5, the last round. No one took a picture because I think we were all just super dead tired at this point.
We were all tired.
But we went up against the Big L, and
beat.
Yeah, exactly. This was another really good team. I had a bad feeling we were gonna get placed into these guys because I've played many of these guys. I've played Eugene. I've played Gregory, and just even those 2 guys are extremely good players. So I knew getting matched up into here, we were. It was going to be a tough round 5 for us. Camaron went up against good old Gloomspite Gets with Eugene piloting that, and Eugene's one of the best Gloomspite players I know. Camaron, you want to go through this one?
It was a massive squig list, and I would just kill squigs. They would fight on death, kill me even more, and then the squig herd would just come back to life. And then from there, it was an extremely close match, but it came down to like just him overextending and splitting his attacks and then failing to kill in one round, and then him failing almost every single resurrection roll in the entire game.
Gosh, that's so bad. Then for what it's worth, he was running King Gets, and he had the reroll. So he was rolling 2 dice and a reroll on a 4-up, and he just couldn't get him back.
It just nothing could come back.
Yeah, and that's
because of that, he was just running out of models to be able to take objectives, and I think he failed 3 of his battle tactics just because he would barely not kill something.
right. And again, Eugene's a very good player, so he knows that very well. He just got kind of unlucky there.
Mm-hmm.
Jed went up against another Alpha Strike Slanesh list, Evan. I think I've played Evan too. I think I've also played him as well. And it came down to kind of whoever made their charges better. And Jed ended up winning that. So it was just, Alpha Strike versus Alpha Strike at that point.
Yeah, I remember talking to him about it, and it was Alpha Strike versus Alpha Strike. Jed got to do his charges first, and he made every single charge with extremely high charge rolls, and he just got placed so perfectly against him that they just called it at the end of the first movement phase.
Wow,
And
really?
They just sat there and they talked for the rest of the 3 hours.
I mean, yeah, when you have 2 identical lists going up against each other like that, it's really just whoever gets the better charge. Whoever gets to go first and gets the better charge.
And it was exactly what he had. We had Sigvald get a super high charge and go directly where he needed to be. And we had an army of Seekers being able to hit you first.
Oh, hey, Gabriel. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was fun. That stupid match is so bad for both of us, but yeah. My round 5 was against Roberto. And I won't lie, Roberto's a great dude, man. I was kind of salty from my last match, just rolling so poorly. So I probably wasn't a great opponent for him. And Roberto, I don't know if you're gonna watch this, but you were such a good opponent, dude. You were great. I was a little salty from and you have to understand, I got really bad rolls the previous round, and then I got matched into Slaves of Darkness as Doc. That's a really bad matchup for me. So I knew, right off the bat, this was just gonna be a rough match. That being said, as I was playing against Roberto, I was feeling better. He was a great opponent. I was able to remove a lot of stuff. Believe it or not, he rolled really poorly on some of his defense, but I couldn't outdo his offense. He just had so much Vanguard, and I made some bad decisions, but all in all, it was a good matchup, and honestly, that might have been my favorite matchup of the tournament. It was a bad matchup for me, but Roberto was such a cool dude, and I hope I get to play him again, hopefully in some better spirits. So yeah, I ended up losing that match, but I scrapped out a lot. It was a really close matchup. I think he won it by a grand strat and a couple points. So it was really close, a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. And then Justin went up against Gregory, and I know Gregory, man. That guy is, everything he does is so finite. Everything is perfect. He knows exactly how to run it. He was running Big Wah, and I don't think Justin could overdo that. I don't know if you heard anything, how this game went, Cameron.
Not for this game. I think this is one of the only games I actually didn't hear a lot about.
Yeah. And then Josh played against, wow, I spelled that wrong. Seraphon, not Serapho. And it was a spell-heavy list, and Josh and Chris scrapped for a while. I think they were one of the last ones done. They were going to town. Josh, you want to go over this one?
Yeah, I also want to say Chris is probably my favorite opponent all weekend. He was such a good dude. We were drinking beers the whole time. It was a great game. The biggest thing for me in this one was the 22 inches minimum starting away from each other. Just about everything I got into, I killed. I was able to get the double after Bellacore and Croak, so I had a lot of things working for me. And if I remember, it literally came down to like the last 2 turns, and I think he squeezed it out like 24-22 or 25-23.
Super close.
It was a really close, fun game, man.
Yeah. So yeah, so just and I think a lot of it had to do with summoning. If you didn't have summoning, I think you would have been, I think you might have would have pulled it out there. But at the end of the day, we actually were up on
100%.
yeah, we were up on wins 13-12, and we actually won this despite having all the losses because our point differential um, was higher than theirs. So even though we lost more than we won, our point differential was better. So we ended up winning this as a team. So all in all, we went 3-2.
Yeah, because it was so close, we scrapped by barely.
Yeah, it was.
I think we beat them by like only a couple points, and in the overall ranking, we were like 2 points under them too.
Yeah, it was close. It was very, very close. Thank God we scratched for as many points as we could, because I mean, I think it was 4 points differential here, and we would have got the loss on that. So, awesome job from a team perspective. Like we really. Oh, Cole. Cameron's list is greater than Greg's. I don't know.
I agree.
So yeah, so let's go over just the recap, and then I'll get your guys' last minute thoughts on it. But awesome event, and great people. I think this is probably the most fun I've had at GT. I think. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better time I've had at a GT. It was a lot of fun. It was out of state. It was our first one from a team perspective. It was fun. I cannot shout out Tom and the team enough for organizing the event. Everything was smooth. There was no issues. Like, everything went well. Tom was a great personality. Like, it was great. The frog was amazing. I know, despite what Tom says, the frog was amazing.
I think this is my first time ever experiencing actual beer hammer.
Yes, this was the epitome of beer hammer, 100%. That being said, it wasn't so crazy to where like people were just like drunk and just not paying it, like had no care in the world. Like once the games got going, it was down to business. But after the games were done, it was just a bunch of fun. And it was awesome. And then last but not least, I think we all learned a huge deal from a team perspective, and kind of how to improve onto the next team event. So we'll definitely take these ideas and go forward with them. I think we'll be a lot better at the next team event, especially with the pairing system, and with the factions we take. I think our factions probably weren't.
That's a lesson that we had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. Beer hammer, but still competitive. Yeah, I mean that's what it was exactly. Cameron, anything else you want to do from just a recap perspective from this weekend?
Not much. All I know is that reaffirms my opinion that I don't like dollars a can.
Great. Yeah, it's not great. I tried. Hindsight should have taken OBR, but it's fine. Josh, you got anything that you want to go over just as a recap?
I had a great time with you guys. I really appreciate you, including me on the team. It was fun, kind of getting dinner and having beers with you guys every night and getting some Smash Bros in. I really enjoyed it, and I'd love to go to the next one with you guys. It was so much fun.
Yeah, man, for sure. It was good having you and Justin there. It was good. All right, I think that's it. As far as what's coming up, so next week. Is Dawnbringers coming out this weekend? The book?
think so.
It's either this weekend or I missed it and it's already out. I don't remember.
Yes, it is coming out this weekend, I believe.
Okay, so hopefully we'll do a review show next Tuesday. So that's kind of the goal. And then awesome, thanks Tom. And then the week after that we'll go back to doing some tier lists. I got some tier lists that we can start going through. But next week we'll do the review on the Dawnbringer book and kind of just see what people think of it.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So other than that, we'll see you guys next Tuesday and have a good rest of the week. Talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Later, y'all.
Bye.